The internet is a very disappointing place to be right now, with so many creators being exposed for just the wildest stuff, and a lot of the time it really does just come out of nowhere. And honestly, I never thought that I'd be sat here talking about Dr. Disrespect in this way, because this was honestly just a massive bombshell. But now, after all of these allegations have come out about Dr. Disrespect, he has finally responded to them, and as many already know, it's not great. So let me just read out the reply that he made to all of this drama, basically explaining it. And I use explaining it in quotation marks because he didn't really explain much. But anyway, here we go. He said, the Twitch ban. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. So... Oh, for fuck's sake. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about. And I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. First and foremost, I do want to apologise to everyone in my community, as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. And you know, this is fair enough. This first segment is not bad at all. It's an apology, but I think everyone wants to get into like the fucking juice of it, because this really doesn't mean anything if the allegations are true. But anyway, let's continue. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and I, and we have made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Now, this didn't make a lot of sense because if you actually look at the tweet from Midnight Society, it sounds more like he got fired and just let go on their behalf and not his. It doesn't sound like a sort of mutual thing. And I guess you could say he's saying this to make himself look more innocent, like they collectively decided that I'd step down because this drama isn't fair to the company, but like, there's just not enough details on it at the moment, and that kind of ties into the next part of it where he says, our team is full of incredibly talented and good people that have high career ambitions and families, and I'd never want to jeopardise the culture we have carefully crafted. So, I guess that's open to opinion from everybody, but let's just get into the next part. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for multiple reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Now, if this is true, it's kind of sketchy that he wasn't allowed to publicly disclose any of this information. Like, why would you be trying to hide that he did talk to a minor? And I suppose that's something to be looked into a little bit more if that is true, but yeah. Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Now, this is an absolutely fucking crazy thing to say in a response to accusations of you talking to a minor. Like, right then and there, you have shot yourself in the foot. Like, there really isn't a plea of innocence here. Like, unless you come out with something to do with the minor blackmailing you or something, there really isn't a lot you can say to your defense now. And then he goes on to say, were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. What does that even mean? What do you mean not real intentions? Were you just faking it? Like, it doesn't really matter. The whole point is that you messaged a minor inappropriately. It doesn't matter if there were any real intentions. It's still inappropriate. I must be missing something here, because surely it doesn't matter what your intentions are. Regardless, if you message a minor inappropriately, you're still messaging a minor inappropriately. And then he goes on to say, these were casual mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. What? Nothing illegal happened, no pictures were shared, no crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. And he says this like it invalidates any of the shit against him, like, it's still a pretty bad situation. But then he goes on about the process to all of this stuff and how there was never any criminal charges against him and all of that. And then he says, now, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should never have entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father. It should never have happened. I get it. I'm not perfect, and I'll fucking own my shit. This was stupid. And it's like, as good as that apology sort of is, there's no information about any of this at all. Like, there's no backstory on the situation, there's no examples of the types of conversations, there's just nothing. Like, it's such a discreet explanation of the events that happened that you don't have anything to go on other than he was talking to a minor inappropriately. And that's about it. So it's very hard to defend him or make an opinion other than you're a paedophile, after being told I've talked to a minor inappropriately and I entertained conversations that went a little bit too far. How are you supposed to defend that? And this is my speculation, but the whole discreetness of this and the fact that he's not giving a lot of details on the situation really just points guilt to me. Like, it shows to me that he doesn't want to talk about this situation and he doesn't want to tell anyone what happened in these chats. Like, the first thing that I would do if I was innocent or if it didn't go very far and I was this person is probably bring up the details of what was talked about to try and alleviate any drama being caused. And whatever way you put it, I mean, he spoke to a minor inappropriately, you can't really defend that or make it sound any better than it is, but giving more details on the situation so everyone isn't just speculating about what he was saying. I think that if he thought that these texts weren't that serious and not that far, then he probably would have brought them up to defend himself. And he does go on more a little bit about more apologies he's made and about how he's going to be back and he's not going anywhere, you know, fuck the haters and all that shit. But that really is all that he said about the sort of allegations and his side of it. So I don't know, it's just a pretty fucked up situation. Like, I don't think that there's really any defense he can give. I mean, he said that he talked to a minor inappropriately. He acknowledges that it was wrong, but he still talked to a minor inappropriately. Like, there's not a lot of defense that could be made to that. And it's sort of like, if this was a random person on the internet, you wouldn't give them any sort of leniency. You would instantly go for their throat about it because it's a pretty fucked up situation. And in my opinion, I think it's very sad to see all of these sorts of YouTubers being exposed on the internet. And I feel like it's a vicious cycle because this used to happen back in the day in like 2016 YouTube. All of these YouTubers being exposed for different things, and it just seems like the cycle doesn't end. We've seen it recently with like I'm Alex, and it just seems like no one on this site is genuine anymore, and it's kind of a sad thing to say. But look, I'd like to hear your opinions in the comments below, so please give them if you have anything to say about this situation. I guess my final verdict is I don't think he deserves the leniency that other people wouldn't get, so I think it's best that people just approach this situation as they would anybody on the internet. Like, it doesn't matter that he's a famous Twitch streamer or he's well known with a lot of subscribers. Like, at the end of the day, it's a messed up situation and he deserves to be criticised for it just as much as anybody else. So, yeah.